The lie men are taught that confidence is not a requirement for action. It is the result of action. The man in our story believed this lie. He thought successful men were born different. Smarter. Braver. More gifted. So he waited. And while he waited, years passed. The comfortable person. Comfort is not luxury. Comfort is avoidance. The man had food, entertainment, a bed. Distractions. On the surface, life looked fine. But comfort slowly turned into a cage. He wasn't suffering enough to change. He wasn't fulfilled enough to stay. He lived in between. And in between is where ambition dies quietly. The comparison trip every night. He scrolled. He watched other men succeed. Businesses built. Bodies transformed. Lives upgraded. He felt inspired for a moment. Then ashamed. Then numb. Comparison without action breeds self-hatred. And self-hatred kills momentum. The identity crisis on night. Alone. He asked himself, who am I becoming? Not who he wanted to be. Not who he pretended to be. Who he was actually becoming through his daily actions. The answer hurt. He was becoming someone who talked about potential but practiced avoidance. That realization was the first crack in his old mindset. The shift begins from outcome to process, always focused on outcomes. I want success. I want money. I want respect. But outcomes don't change behavior. Processes do. The mindset shift began when he stopped asking, what do I want? And started asking, what kind of man do I need to become daily? Successful men don't chase success, they build the habits that make success inevitable. From motivation to identity used to wait for motivation. Now he fused on identity. Not I want to work hard, but I am a man who works hard. Not I want discipline, but I am disciplined. Identity creates behavior. Behavior reinforces identity. This loop is what builds men. The first act of self-respect shift was not dramatic. No loud speech. No sudden transformation. It began with one simple act. He kept a promise to himself. One small promise. Wake up early. Train for 10 minutes. Read 5 pages. Finish one hard task. It didn't matter what the promise was. What mattered was this. For the first time, he respected his own word. Self-respect is the foundation of confidence. The pain of responsibility. The world is comforting. The man used to blame the economy. His background, his circumstances. Responsibility felt heavy, but responsibility also felt empowering. When he accepted that his life was his responsibility, he regained control. Men become successful when they stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what can I do with what I've been given? The end of excuses are sophisticated lies. They protect ego. They protect comfort. But they steal growth. The man began noticing his excuses. I'm tired. I'm busy. I'll start tomorrow. He didn't judge them. He just stopped obeying them. The lonely fast. When a man changes his mindset, he becomes lonely for a while. Old friends don't understand. Old habits no longer satisfy. The old identity begins to die. This phase feels like isolation, but it is actually separation from mediocrity. The first evidence of change. Weeks passed. Small wins appeared. Work improved. Discipline strengthened. Confidence grew. Not because life became easier, but because he became stronger. Success didn't arrive. But momentum did. And momentum is success in motion. The final truth of part 1: successful men are not special. They simply think differently about responsibility, identity, discipline, discomfort. Consistent side mindset shift is simple. Stop waiting to feel like the man you want to become. Start acting like him now. The psychology of avoidance feels harmless. Skipping one workout, delaying one goal, postponing one hard decision. But avoidance compounds. Not doing the hard thing today makes it harder to do it tomorrow. The mind learns a dangerous lesson. I can escape discomfort. And once the brain learns escape, discipline collapses. Why motivation always fails. Motivation is emotional. Emotions change. Energy fluctuates. Inspiration fades. Successful men don't rely on how they feel. They build systems that work even when they don't feel like it. They don't ask, "Do I feel motivated today?" They ask, "What does the system require today?" And then they execute. The discipline. Muscular discipline is not personality. It is a muscle. It grows when used. It weakens when ignored. Every time a man does what he said he would do, even when tired, even when bored, even when unmotivated, his discipline grows. And discipline is the real superpower. Comfort versus growth. Comfort whispers safety. Growth demands pain. Comfort offers pleasure now. Growth offers fulfillment later. Men don't fail because they choose pain. They fail because they choose comfort repeatedly. One soft choice at a time until life becomes soft. And so do they. The boring work that builds great men. Success is not dramatic. It is repetitive. Early mornings. Same routines. Same discipline. Same unglamorous work. The work no one applauds. The progress no one sees. This is where men separate themselves most. Men quit because it's boring. The successful men stay because they understand boring is where greatness is built. The ego death phase. At some point, a man realizes he is not as good as he thought. He is not as disciplined as he imagined. He is not as strong as his ego believed. This moment hurts. But this is the birth of real growth. Because humility opens the door to learning. The ego wants validation. The disciplined man wants progress. The shift from external to internal validation. The old version of the man wanted likes. Praise. Attention. Approval. The new version wants self. Respect. Consistency. Progress. Quiet confidence. External validation is fragile. Internal validation is unshakable. Men who succeed stop performing for others and start building for themselves. The silent standards. Successful men have standards. They never announce. They don't tell people, "I wake up early. I train daily. I work when I'm tired." They just live it. Standards shape identity. And identity shapes destiny. The loneliness of growth. When you grow, you outgrow rooms. You outgrow conversations. You outgrow comfort circles. This feels lonely. But loneliness is not emptiness. It is space. For evolution, every man who levels up walks alone for a while. The compound effect of small wins and disciplined day doesn't change your life. One disciplined year does. Men overestimate what they can change in a weekend, underestimate what they can build in a year. Small actions done daily become unstoppable momentum. The new definition of strength is not aggression. Strength is restraint. Strength is consistency. Strength is choosing long-term pain over short-term pleasure. Real men don't prove strength. They build it quietly. The end of part to truth mindset shift that makes men successful is this: stop negotiating with weakness. Start obeying your higher standards. Every day you choose discipline over comfort. You are building a man your future self will thank. Muji Iski 3 image prompt right KR do.